Hi, I'm surrounded by books today because I want to do the mid-year freak-out tag. I'm really proud of myself this year because I've read more than I've ever read until the half of the year, more than I've ever read like in a full year. I've read by now 34 books. Just so you know that this is like completely out of normal. This is not the amount of books I read normally until half the year, but because of like a certain little thing, like a little pandemic, I've been staying at home and doing nothing other than reading, and I've taken place in 2 readathons. Okay, so like last year I read 28 books. Just so you know that like this is my normal amount of books I read per year is like 30 maximum. My Goodreads goal for this whole year was 35 books, which for me was more than I had read last year. So I know that some people think it's normal for you to like read 35 books until the end of the year, until the middle of the year. But it, like, you know, each one of us has a different reading experience and whatnot. So it's okay if you read like 2 books until now. The point is not reading the most. The point is reading what makes you happy, I think. Don't think that this is like a competition. This is not a competition. We are all just reading to enjoy our lives. So, because I have read so much, and because some of my favorite YouTubers that I follow have done the mid-year freakout tag, I've decided to do it. The first question is, what is the best book you have read this year? I've reread a couple of books. So I've reread Arthur and Dante Discovered the Secrets of the Universe, but and I love that book so much. So I'm gonna count a book that I had not read before, which is Red, White, and Royal Blue. I really like this. It's a story I really enjoy. Yeah. I think this is it. This is what I have to say. I think this is the best book I've read. Then the second category is, what is the best sequel you've read? And I don't read that many sequels. And then also I've been just like falling out of liking fantasy, so I'm reading way less sequels because the sequels I used to read were fantasy, and I don't read that much fantasy, so less sequels. But I have read Heartstopper, the second one, and I really like it. It's just a very sweet, fun book, and I really enjoyed it. So the next category is a new release you haven't read yet, but I don't really follow that many new releases. So I don't really know. There's none that I've seen that I want to read. But then the next category is most anticipated release to the second half of the year. And I do have an answer for this one. It is A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor, which is the sequel to An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. Thank you, Hank Green, for making very hard names. Anyway, I got this one close to release date when it was released the first time, and I'm really looking forward to the sequel. And also, my sister has read this one just this year, and it's funny because she walked into my room and she was like, "Do you have the next one?" And I'm like, "It hasn't launched yet." And then she's like, "Oh." So that was a great experience. So I think we're both looking forward to the sequel to this one. There's also Jack Edwards' book, The Universe. A Jack Edwards book with a pun on the title. You know, what would you expect? What else would you expect from Jack Edwards? So I'm looking forward for that one as well, just because I like Jack, not necessarily because of the content of the book. So yeah. Then the biggest disappointment, and unfortunately I have to say, it's Children of Virtue and Vengeance, which is the sequel to Children of Blood and Bone. Yes, there's also the fact that I'm not liking fantasy that much, so maybe don't take my opinion for this, but I think the first one was so much better and had a way better plot and explained the characters and, you know, all that. And then the second one wasn't as good, which I think it's like second book syndrome. Is that what it's called? That the second book is just not that good, or that it's in transition between the first and the third? So I don't know, but this one was kind of not as good as the first one. the next category is biggest surprise, and for me it was Watership Down. This was a book that my sister got for me when she was traveling, and I was traveling as well as out of the country, and then it just got into my shelf and I didn't even know what it was about, and then I decided to read it for a readathon because I think it fit a category that I couldn't find anything else. I'm not sure. And then it became one of my favorite books. And I really like the characters and I really like everything about it. So yeah, I wasn't expecting anything out of it, and then it turned out to be great. Next category is new favorite author. And for this one, I have to say it's Chimamanda Adichie. I have watched her TED Talk, We Should All Be Feminists, and read the transcript of that. But this really made me like want to read every single thing from her, as I have already said on this channel. Next category is newest fictional crush, and I know I'm 150 years and 5 film adaptations late to the party, but it is Laurie from Little Women. I had watched the 2019 film adaptation, and yes, I did like Laurie in that one, but I tend to just not want to have a crush on Timothée Chalamet because everyone on Twitter has a crush on him and I don't want to be like everyone else. Yeah, not, you know. Anyway, I don't have a crush on Timothée Chalamet, but I do have a crush on Laurie because then I picked up the book, I read the whole thing, and he's incredible. A second one, because, you know, fictional crushes, is Henry from Red, White, and Royal Blue, and I do not know how much the fact that he can get into the British Museum at any time he wants affect this crush, but I really wish we could date and get into the British Museum. Unfortunately, he's incredibly gay, as he says it, like every chapter. Next category is newest favorite character. Is that it? Yes, it is. I said it correctly. And I have to say, it is every single character from Watership Down. I just really love them. I really want to just protect them forever because they're incredible. So, thank you. I really like them. They're great characters, and each one of them has like a thing, and it's great. Yes. But also, Julia 4, 5 Julias, because, I mean, every character in this book is amazing as well, because they all have the same name, and they all, like, go on an adventure together, and they're all great. Like, you must read it and be like, which one do you match with the most? And then, obviously, Julia 4 is the one that I like the most, because she likes Taylor Swift, and then I really wish we could be friends and just, like, sing Taylor Swift forever. So, yes. Oh, book that made you cry. Every single one of them? This definitely made me cry. Made me cry. Next category is book that made you cry. And I picked here from the ones that I remember, I'm sure I've cried, and the ones I have physical. And these are the top 4. I might have cried in some other ones, like Little Women, I'm sure I cried. And there's some other ones that I read that I don't have physical, so I'm not sure. Americana probably made me cry. Aristotle and Dante discovered the secrets of the universe, and George made me cry because of LGBTQ plus people being treated differently because of who they are and their sexuality. And I reread both of them and I cried again on the same parts. So yeah, just these are the books that I pick up that I'm like, let's cry, ladies. Red, White, and Royal Blue, because I saw someone on Tumblr as well talking about this. Reading this book in the current political and world moment that we are in makes you just cry. Also, the fact that this was supposed to, like, this is something that could be happening in 2020, that this is an alternative reality that could be happening, it's just insane and just makes you cry just thinking about it. Watership Down, because the ending is just everything. The ending is perfect. And if I say anything more about that, or why I cried, it's a huge spoiler, but it makes you cry at the end. And then to oppose to that, the next category is a book that made you happy. And I'm sure that all those books that made me cry also made me happy, because books are incredible, but I'm gonna have to choose Heartstopper because it is just so sweet, and it's just a book that you would pick up if you want to read quickly and to be happy and get a happy about book. Next one is the most beautiful book you've read this year, or the most beautiful cover, I guess. But this one fits in both of those because it's Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks. Different from Heartstopper, which Heartstopper and Pumpkinheads are 2 graphic novels I read in my life. This one has colors inside, and Heartstopper is just black and white. And then it's just so pretty, and the setting is so pretty, everything's so pretty. And another thing is that it happens like right before and right after like golden hour, so you know that lighting is gonna be incredible throughout most of the book, and just like, you know, the red sky and yellowy and like very autumny colors, just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's also like hardcover, and it's pretty, so beautiful. Last category is a book you need to read this year, and until yesterday I didn't have an answer to this because I don't normally like have a TBR or have books that I want to read. So other than the releases, a book I want to read is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, who wrote Heartstopper. And my sister just appeared with this book here in the house today, and I was like, since when do you have this? Because then after reading the graphic novel, and after some of my favorite YouTubers have said that they love Alice Oseman, I was really looking forward to reading something of her, but I didn't have anything. And then my sister just shows up with Radio Silence, and I'm like, where is this from? Since when is this in this house? And then she's like, it's not mine, I borrowed it from a friend. And then I texted the friend and was like, hey, can I get it after she finishes it? And then she just answered yes. So I'm looking forward to reading Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. So that's it for this tag. If you want to see all the books I've read this year and how many stars I gave to them, you can check my Goodreads. I'm gonna let the link in the description below. And that's it, I think. Thank you for watching.